lot of activity here at Koch Residence. A lot of activity. We got Toby Lee Marshall in town. We're set up over at a studio across town. We're recording. I took a little pause to come home, do this, meeting a contractor here momentarily who's late. It happens. You know, I'm not going to judge. We thank you for tuning in, of course, here in the land of the Cheddar Curtain, where people are friendly and they like sausages. And there's nothing wrong with that if you like sausages. Let's see what we got here. I'm going to go over here, the kingdom. The kingdom of Gristle will manifest. Kingdom of Gristle. Folks, we're going to do a couple live streams with the band this weekend. I'll be posting it exactly when. We're still working out the details. We are recording in town, but we're going to work out a way to do a couple live streams with Toby Lee Marshall while he's in town. So we will also do I Love You Too. Sorry, I'm responding to the comments here, ladies and gentlemen. I don't have Love Tourette's. Love Tourette's. Good song. Love Tourette's. I'm going to finish that one later on. Anyway. So we're going to do some live stuff. Probably tomorrow and Saturday we'll do some live stuff. And we're going to put a tip jar up. You know why? Because Toby, Dylan, myself, how much work did we cancel as a result? Well, a lot, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to show the love by playing some jams. Maybe you could show love with some digital folding appreciation, as they say. Digital folding appreciation, coming on strong. The boys are over at the studio as we speak. You know, we're cutting a couple of, we got a bunch of new tunes, which we've actually been playing for a while now, since the first record came out in 2017. Is that a Les Paul classic? Darren, it is not. It is a Wildwood Spec 57 featherweight Lester Palfus model from our friends at Gibson Custom Shop. It's very, very light. I do have those Fishman Fluence open core pickups on there. Maybe that's what's throwing you, but love to Reds. I love you. Right? That's how it would go. What a beautiful day we're having. I love you. Nothing wrong. I'm not making fun of a situation. Paul! Am I right or am I right? Can you dig that kind of activity? People like to ask what this guitar is. It's one of them there Gibsons, ladies and gentlemen. This one I got back in the lofty years. Well, kind of a Wisconsin Irishman right there that I will try not to do again as far as vocal embellishments go. What? This is a 50th anniversary 63 ES 335 from, at the time, the Memphis Gibson facility, which is no longer in service. Everything has been moved to Nashville in terms of Gibson USA, Gibson activities. And this one is a glorious guitar. I did put my Fishman Fluence classic humbuckers in here, and it sounds damn good. Christopher Brown asks the following question. He says, Greg, do you put Fishman Fluence on all your guitars? I heard you say that you don't need to mess with the tone controls when switching to the Les Paul to the Strat. That's exactly correct. And that's why for all my performing guitars, I have Fluence in them. Because I can go from my Gristlemaster to a Strat to the Les Paul to the 335 without changing the EQ on the guitar. They all sound like the guitar they're supposed to sound like, but the pickups are all dialed in such a way that they all behave together. As opposed to when I didn't have Fluence in this particular guitar, if I would put it on after playing my Les Paul, it sounded like there was a wet towel over the amp or something. So this just allows me to get all the different tonal delights from both the neck pickup and the bridge pickup, as opposed to, when you know how that is when you're your ears are attuned to like a Strat pickup or a Telecaster pickup, and you grab a Gibson, you're like, oh, it's just so dark sounding, especially on a gig. You go to that bridge pickup and you're like putting on your tube screamer or whatever, and you grab the tone, you go, you turn it all the way up, and you don't even go to the neck pickup because it sounds so dark. This doesn't do that, so it allows you to be able to get all the deliciousness. Do Fishman pickups have digital aspects to them, or are they regular pickups? Well, they were created with the help of the digital domain, but the pickups themselves are analog pickups in terms of the way that they're constructed. There is a preamp on board because the Fluence core, which is so instead of having windings, it's stacked circuit boards with a coil printed on it. So you got a coil on a thin, very, very thin circuit board, and then those are stacked up on top of each other to make the coil instead of having windings. And then that represents a kind of a blank canvas. It needs a preamp in order to make it sound the way you want it to sound. So, but the good news is that blank canvas allows you to voice it any way you want, and you can have multiple voicings. So that's what these pickups have. So in this particular guitar, I got 2 voicings, which are great. Greg, do you use the same gauge of strings on all your guitars? I do. I use 10 through 46 on all the guitars. How did I celebrate the 4th? We made a great feast here, as a matter of fact. We went for a nice walk. We went up to a park in Grafton, Wisconsin. What's it called? Lion's Den. Some cool cliffs over Lake Michigan. It's a beautiful place. A lot of people there, though, so we distanced as much as possible, but then when we realized that we were surrounded by humankind, we decided, let's go back home. Let's go back home on the 4th and get out of here, because I got a little pandemic fear. I don't want to catch something from a mutant, so let's all just disappear. So we did. We went back home and grilled a delicious feast. And it was good, clean fun. Mark Tozo asks, hi, Greg. Do you always record mic'd or do you also DI? Usually it's just mic'd. Yeah. I can't think of in the recent past on one of my projects, that I went direct in any way, shape, or form. Feelings on Zappa. Was he a big influence? Favorite song? Absolutely. I was a big fan of the kind of the apostrophe Live at the Roxy and Elsewhere, Overnight Sensation, Grand Wazoo iteration. I mean, I liked it all, but that was probably my favorite stuff. But you know, I've got a lot of Zappa records, shall we say. Savage COVID lifestyle. Hi. Greg, there are people out there who choose macaroni salad over potato salad. Can you imagine? Well, it is a strange. Here, I got to tell you a little thing just, you know, before we go back to guitars. Well, I like mics because you get the speaker give. So when you just go direct, it mitigates all of that stuff. And I like room sound as well. So I like up close, and I like a mic a little bit farther back, and you blend the room sound. You gotta get those speakers spazzing out with your power and your savagery, going. Okay. Yeah, at least for the music I like to play. So, peaches and regalia, delicious. Anyways, we were talking about salads before we get back to guitar talk. I'm not a big fan of mayonnaise, ladies and gentlemen. That's why I'm any kind of potato salad or macaroni salad that has mayonnaise in it, I'm not in. Okay, just not in. I like a German potato salad. Okay, I like a pasta salad with a vinaigrette. Not that I've grown to an age where if something has mayonnaise in it, I will suffer through it. Except for a salad, I really can't do it because my mom used to make salads with copious amounts of mayonnaise. She'd plop that stuff on my plate, and it would start to, like a shaved carrot and raisin salad, ladies and gentlemen. She'd plop that on the plate, and it would start to invade all the other dishes with the soupy mayonnaise. And then I would be like, I'm not eating that. That's disgusting. And then they'd put the timer on. If I didn't eat it by X amount of time, I'd go to my room. I hate mayonnaise, okay? Sorry. We went off the rails here a little bit. Greg, thanks for getting together with Koch Amplification, which brought my attention to their amplifiers. Although I don't have your signature amp, I ended up with a twin tone, which is a great amplifier, and I have to say that they're quite... Oh, sorry, I missed that. Let's see what we got here. Hey, Johnny, hey! Johnny A is in the house. Johnny A is in the house. Johnny A also does a delicious morning live feed on his Facebook page. You should go and harass him accordingly. He plays some delightful music and waxes poetic. He also does a little beverage-consuming coffee clutch, except martini clutch in the afternoons with his lovely wife, Beth. So check that out as well. Thanks for say that there are quite a few amps. A delight to have the horsepower and a great vibe, and presents the guitar player touch sensitivity. Yep, it's called that too. Yeah, well, I'm glad you like it, Joe. They make great stuff, do they not? I love them. I see other people who do not like mayonnaise. Let us stand tall and stand firm, shoulder to shoulder, in a phalanx of the mayonnaise haters, saying to the rest of the world, hey, it's okay if you like that white ooze, but you know what? We're not feeling it. So don't assume that you're going to plop a salad drenched in that secretion on our plates, or serve a sandwich, say a submarine sandwich at a party, a graduate. Of course, the party's not happening now because of COVID-19. But just don't presume you can put that secretion on a dish and say, hey, everyone's going to like it, because we don't. Who's with me out there? Are you in like Flynn or what? All right, here we go. I got to go down here. All right. I defend the mayo. Have at thee. I'm not saying you can't enjoy mayonnaise. Go right ahead. Just don't foist it upon us. Don't foist. Don't foist. It's so dank and it's so moist. Don't foist. We don't want to eat that unsavory secretion. Just don't foist. Don't Don't foist. Don't foist, ladies and gentlemen. Don't foist the mayonnaise. I'm sorry, I got to check my phone periodically because we have some sewer issues in the basement, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going to give you any graphic depictions of what's going on, but let me just say there's a certain POOP involved in a sink downstairs that needs to be taken care of. And the guy was supposed to be here between noon and 3. Well, guess what time it is? It's 3:15. I feel another song coming in. No, I better stop it. You know, the neck pickup on a doggone 335 sounds good. Does it not, ladies and gentlemen? It just sounds... Oh, here comes the poop man. Hold on just a minute. Hello? Yes, are you here? No problem. Just go to the front door. My wife will let you in. Thank you. Bye-bye. The poop man is coming. He's almost here. The poop man is coming. Hooray! Sorry, that's exciting. What tune was I playing? dig it? Greetings from Liverpool, England. Thank you. Greetings to you as well. Harmonic vibrato on the amp, ladies and gentlemen. On my signature amp, made by Koch. It's called the Greg. On board is a harmonic vibrato, which you just heard. So sometimes I use it for that stuff. Sometimes I like to go. And that's just with the overdrive channel on the Greg amp, just the without the gain boost on it, or the OTS. It just sounds big and juicy. Succulent. What was that little descending chromatic type like? Boy, you know, Matt, if I couldn't remember. I couldn't remember if I had to. I did some kind of something. Something like that. Whipping post. I've been run down. I've been lied to. I don't know why I let that mean woman make me out a fool. Took all my money, wrecked my new car. Now she's with one of my good time buddies, drinking in some crosstown bar. Sometimes I feel like I've been tired to the whipping post. Sorry, I lose control sometimes. Sometimes I lose control. No whipping post. Sarah doesn't want the whipping post. Sarah doesn't want the. Oh, she's like, shut up, don't. Oh, you're gonna troll me from beyond the camera, but I can't call you out. That's the way of Sarah. Sarah's trolling me. She said, don't do whipping post. Just like that, ladies and gentlemen. For the kids. Can it gent? Can it gent? Stuck it. Right, that. Please give him a message of the tone. Yes. Oh, we were just in the Bag of Nails at 3 a.m. Oh, Bag of Nails. Yeah. Play Zoiks. Adam Bomb, you are a savage beast. You know the poop man's not going to leave your house with, well, you never know. We don't know what's going on. We don't know what's going on. Where's Boy Squatch? He's with Toby at the studio as we speak. Can you play some Chet Atkins style? I just did a whole bunch of it earlier on. I did a whole bunch of Chester stuff. Let's hear what this Lester Pulphus sounds like in comparison. The Lester, this is a Gibson 60th anniversary, 63 ES335. This one is a Wildwood Spec 57 from the custom shop. Oh, I got a text message. So many messages coming in. The color is Sweet Cherry. It's a very light guitar. It's not weight relieved. It's just light, not light woods. That's all I got to say about it. Just light woods. P.S. You are making it rain here in Cape Town, South Africa. I'm sorry about that. It was raining here a little while ago. But now the sun is back out. It's been very humid here in the Cheddar Curtain. Something like that. Diggity doggone it. Can you dig it? Guitar sounds good. That's all I'm going to say about it. Guitar sounds good. What I want to do for the fun of it. Did your feeling change about how you play guitar, like when you really knew to how it is today? I think I know what you're saying. You know what? It's, when you're younger, you're just like, I can't wait till I can do X, Y, and Z. It's frustrating when you're younger playing. You're like, at some point I want to be able to do this, this, and this, and this. And then you start getting older and you keep practicing, you keep working at it. And the work never ends. The refining is always going on. Then you get to a point where you're just like, man, if I put the time in, I can pretty much do whatever I want to do now, which is really cool. I mean, within the realm of what I want to do. So that's a blast. So anytime I'm sitting around and I'm like, I always wanted to learn that one thing, and then I'll just go at it. And now it's hard because you got to be gigging. You got to be able to apply the stuff so that you can retain it. But open A sometimes sounds good. Can you dig it? Like that. Little open A activities, ladies and gentlemen. Can you dig it? Can you pick it, lick it, roll it, flick it? Slow ride. Of course I've heard of Sonny Landreth. How's it going out there, y'all? What time we got? Oh, it's already 3:45. Time flies when the rock is at hand, ladies and gentlemen. When the rock is at hand. Throbbing gristle. It's good for you. What's that? Huh? Sarah wants Little Feet. It's hard to do without the band, though, with the Little Feet. Can't remember that one. Texas Twister. You're going to find out, mister, when you pop that herpes blister. Did I say that out loud? Sorry, I lost control. Dylan is actually at the studio right now. That was their best live tune in '77. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's good stuff. Worthing. We've been in Worthing. More Jimmy Left Elbow. All right, folks, we're getting down to the last. Would I consider doing a rig rundown? I've done one. Last summer I did one. Was that last summer? It's on the inner Google. Does it get crowded with all the internet in that tiny room? Yes, it does. Yes. We were supposed to go to the UK actually at the end of October. I don't see that happening. The sound of a Lester Paul Fish. Wildwood spec. Featherweight. Nice and light, I'll tell you that. It's got some good abuse on it as well. I gave it a good seeing to, as an English friend of mine once said. Can you dig it? Can you dig it? All right, folks, how are we doing here? We got 5 minutes left in our plundering. Don't forget, we're going to do some live feeds this weekend with the band. We're going to do one probably tomorrow at some point. I will post it on my Facebook page and stuff, and then we'll just be live. One of these times we're going to do it legit. We'll have multi-camera things and have everything mic'd up. That's coming soon, but Toby's in town, and we thought we were not going to waste that opportunity, so we'll be doing a live thing at some point. So, can you dig it? Thank you for tuning in, doggone it. Any other crazy questions out there in movie land? Any advice for older players past rock stardom? Brian, it's never too late to be a rock star in the darkest recesses of your own twisted mind. There's always time for the delusions of grandeur. Do you prefer the Gibsons these days? Actually, I'm an equal opportunity offender. That didn't make sense. Actually, I have, of course, my signature Reverend guitars, but I have all kinds of different guitars that I like. And certainly when I go out to Wildwood, I'm playing all the different guitars, and I love playing them all. They're all good times. So what we're going to be doing in the future is they're going to be sending me some guitars here, because it doesn't look like anytime soon I'll be able to go out to Colorado and involve myself in what we used to do on a monthly basis there in beautiful Radocala. So they're going to send me some guitars, and I'll be doing some of these videos with these other guitars that will be, I'm kind of picking stuff from the website that I think is really cool and saying, why don't you send those to me? I'll do some videos on them. So I kind of get to test drive them, and everyone wins. Maybe somebody out there will be, I want that guitar. And then you'll save me from myself of buying the guitar. I have the additional pressure of already having it in my house. So there will be a problem there, but I'll play the guitar, and, you'll be able to hear it, see it, smell it, if you have smell-o-vision, which is, I guess, a new thing that's being offered on Facebook. Actually, that's not true. But anything could be true these days. Just say it, and it becomes true. What? Smell-o-vision. It's real. Bring it. Anyway. How are we doing there, Isla Rose? Where are you coming from?
Hello.
There's Isla. She's coming into the dining room area. COVID vision. That's exactly right, Stephen. Any amplifier manufacturers that stand out? Well, certainly Koch amplifiers with this glorious contraption that I've been playing today, my signature amp. But there's all kinds of great amps today in this day and age. Those RPM amps that Wildwood is carrying are magnificent. They've got all the bells and whistles. The new Soldanos, the new old Soldanos are available now. Of course, Friedman amps. The Tone King amps are great. Morgan amps are great. All kinds of great stuff out there. The old Jim Kelly amps, which are new again. I dig those. There's all kinds of great amps. Of course, Fender amps. You got your Vox amps. You got your Orange amps. I like them all for different stuff. You know what I'm saying? There's no such thing as an amp fight. Amp fight. Why Bigsby on the P90 goes? I just thought it'd be a good idea. I like the sound of P90. I like the sound of Bigsby guitars. They have a certain tone to them, and I thought with the P90s, it's an excellent combination. I was just tracking with that very guitar today, and it sounds glorious. I bet the plumber had some smell-o-vision today. Well, I bet you're right. I bet you did. He got a little savory sangria down there in the sink. Savory sangria coming on strong. The new Magnetones, yes, they're good amps as well, no question about it. Bill Gibbons, as opposed to Yule Gibbons. Billy Gibbons, of course, a fiendish Texan and guitar-wielding potentate of the highest order, and an awfully nice wearer of some delicious cranial raiments, if we're not lying. Am I right? He's got that frilly, fingery-looking thing that he wears. He pulls it off as well, and I think that's glorious. He's been playing those new Magnetones for the kids. What is your preferred speaker and why? You know, Stephen, I'm not extraordinarily contentious when it comes to speakers. If I get an amp and it sounds good, we're pretty much done. But when we were doing my signature amp, they installed Jensen Jet speakers, and I enjoyed those immensely. I thought, our work here is done. They sound delicious. I do like the 12-inch speakers that Koch is making, or whatever they're using for their new 12s. And I've got a 212 cabinet and head of my amp now, and that sounds fantastic. The Jimmy Page of Tejas. Well, he's the Billy Gibbons of Texas. Maybe Jimmy Page is the Jimmy Page of Jimmy Pages. You ever think about that? Jimmy Page is the Jimmy Page of Jimmy Pages. Yule Gibbons. He ate sticks and twigs and grape nuts. He was the guy that did the grape nuts commercials. Grape nuts were delicious. Am I right? You put enough sugar on it, anything's good. Remember that back in the day when your parents wouldn't buy sugar cereal? And they'd buy grape nuts and Special K. And you're like, okay, is that the way we're going to roll? And you just get out the sugar thing and just go, just cake it. Another good one was cornflakes. Put enough sugar on cornflakes. Damn, delicious. So take that, Mom and Dad. We saw through you. You should have just got sugar pops. You could have mitigated. You could have controlled the amount of sugar we were consuming. But instead, it was a damn free-for-all. Who's with me out there? It was pretty sweet that Jimmy Page was reunited with that Black Beauty, wasn't it? And Wilford Brimley, did he eat grape nuts? Wilford Brimley was like one of those actors that you could just imagine that how he smelled. You know what I mean? You see him on screen, you're like, oh. Just like, you could just smell. There was an old man aroma in the room. Is that weird? I don't think so. I think you know what I'm talking about. Twigs and sticks. Yes. Cornflakes with sugar and strawberries. Another good choice. You know what we got the other day? I like Colossal Crunch. It's the generic Captain Crunch that comes in those giant bags. Who's with me on that? Not a healthy choice, ladies and gentlemen. But in quarantine, you got to let your freak flag fly. Am I right? That's the wind taking the flag. Of the freak flag. What? Cocoon. Remember that movie, Eddie Leon? I See You. I remember that movie. And also Racine's own Don Amici was in that movie. Racine, Wisconsin, he was from. Wilford's Blues. Smells like mustard. We love him, though. Right? Mm-hmm. Oh, Brimley shilled for Cracklin' Oat Bran. Well, you know what? He was all about the colon. Had to make sure that thing was in tip-top shape to be able to pull off that look. You know what I'm saying? You can look like that, but you got to make sure your colon is in working order or else it's not going to last long. Who's with me on that? That sounds weird, but I think we all know what we're talking about. How are you doing with this COVID-19? Well, I'll tell you what. Don't mess around. It's for reals. But I will say that I've changed my theme song for COVID-19. Before I was going, COVID-19, oh, I swear you're obscene and upsetting. That seemed a little too jovial, so now I've gone with more of a Black Sabbath approach. COVID-19, COVID-19. That seems a little bit more appropriate. Who's with me? Thank you. His colon looked like Kate Beckinsale. Wow. I know what you meant. Colossal Crunch. Aldi's? No, actually, Colossal Crunch is available at our local, there's a Metcalf's that's a few blocks away in a Pick and Save, close to my domicile, where we get that kind of delicious. The dirt spider lives in the spider weeps in the valley of shame, okay? Just so we're on the same page. All right. What tunings do you use? I love drop D, dadgad, C, etc. Yes, I do as well. I like those tunings as well. I like open E. I like open D. Do the old dadgad, open A, open G. There's a C tuning I like to use. And dadgad, did we mention that? And drop D every now and again. Greg, you are the new poster child for colon health. And how? You know what? It's all part of the Black Sabbath version is ACE, right? You got to do it. Colossal Crunch makes your gristle throb. You're damn right, Jacob. You're damn right. You're darn tootin'. Does Red Owl still exist? I don't know if the Red Owl certainly not around here. I think the Red Owl has flown the coop. There are Aldi's around here. I like a good Aldi every now and again. Best part about Aldi is that because they're German-owned, you can go in there and a lot of those treats that you enjoy while you're on the road in Germany and you stop in the roadside places for your candy treats and so on and so forth, and crackers and nuts and various different iterations. They have it all there, so I can relive my German touring delights at Aldi. And cost-effective, you betcha. Can you dig it? Have you done a demo of the Page Telly? I've not seen one. That's an interesting question. I have not. The ones they got into Wildwood flew the coop so doggone fast that I didn't have a chance to do a video, as far as I remember. You know what's funny is that when I was doing the Fender thing for the 15, almost 20 years that I was affiliated with Fender, I was always asking them, I'm like, when are you going to do Jimmy Page Telecaster? That just needs to happen. And the artist relations guys, especially the English guys, are like, we've had a contract at his office for years saying, anytime you're ready, we're ready to do that Telecaster. And then I thought it was funny when it finally came out, there's that interview with Jimmy Page saying, I had an idea. Sorry, it's a horrible English accent. I'll do it in American. He goes, I had an idea. What if we could do, I was like, what if? What if that was possible, that they could do it? Bubbly water, ladies and gentlemen. Got to tell you, my biggest, since I don't drink alcohol or anything crazy anymore, my favorite is coffee, a good espresso beverage, and sparkling water. It's like the greatest combination known to man. It's kind of the sober man speedball of a sort. What? That didn't make sense. All right, folks. 4:07 in the PM. You guys take care. Have a glorious remainder of your whatever day it is. I believe it's Thursday. Tomorrow, Friday, I'll be back at 4 p.m. Central. But look forward to maybe in the evening time us doing some live feeding, and also on Saturday night. It's going to be kind of pop-up. It's going to be a surprise. But look for it. I might post something giving you a little heads up beforehand. Excuse me. Did you say LaCroix water, or is that LaCroix? No one knows. Is it LaCroix or is it LaCroix? Folks, I think I've hit the wall with that one. So with that one, our feeder schnitzel, I see you. Have a good one. We'll see you.